Well, India was put into bat by Aiden Markram at Centurion. Batting-friendly conditions. Well, you could go as far as calling it a batting paradise because the pitch was great. Boundaries on the side were short. Lots of catchers on the grass banks. And the Indian batters have used all those to their advantage and have piled on quite a formidable 219 for the loss of 6 wickets. Of course, at the back of a brilliant century, a maiden century for Tilak Varma. His 107 came off 56 balls, came in at number 3 and was unbeaten at the end. Fantastic. Now, great partnership with Abhishek Sharma, maximizing that power play and setting up India for this 200-plus score. This is Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. With me, Dinesh Karthik and Zaheer Khan. And let's talk to the batter first. Very happy seeing all these batters make hay while the sun shone.
What a pitch to bat on, G. You sometimes want such pitches which has bounce, because when there's bounce, you tend to use the shorter boundaries on the square, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Both Abhishek Sharma and Tilak Varma batted outstandingly well, considering we were 0 for 1 and they were bowling sharp, but still come out with the positive intent that we spoke about. They knew the batting was deep, so they went hard. A bit of a collapse through the middle, but Tilak Varma kept his composure, and towards the end he again launched, which was great to see.
Yeah, let's talk about that young man for a second, because you've seen him up at close quarters. Just great batting today.
Great batting. And for a T20 batter, if you're able to open up offside, onside, pretty much you create problems for any bowlers. And that's what Tilak Varma did today. Those reverse sweeps also came in very handy. Those shots through the offside, especially when Keshav Maharaj was bowling to him, was important, because you've seen how Abhishek got out as well, which was smart bowling from Keshav Maharaj. So he was using that angle against the left-handers, making them work really hard. If you're looking to play on the onside, it was not easy. But Tilak Varma adapted well through that phase and pretty much kept the tempo going in spite of losing that first early wicket.
I like the fact that the captain actually sacrificed his spot and let Tilak come in at number 3 today.
I think Surya is someone who understands situations, and after the way he got out last game, they would have thought that, send Tilak Varma probably in the power play, and then post power play, we all know what Surya can do, or at least make Surya bat at the back end of the power play. If an early wicket, maybe Tilak Varma, and that's what happened. And you can see the potential that he's got. Everybody very early on in his career, even in domestic, knew that he's got skills. He's someone who can play on the offside, like what Zach said, but always very strong on the leg side too. And it was great to see him come out there, express himself. But there was a bit of a phase where he showed responsibility, where he had to just bat. When Abhishek Sharma got out, to the time where Rinku got out, he was pretty quiet. And you need to do that sometimes as a batter who's batting through if you want to make good the other phases. And that's why we got the 65 in that last phase. Between 7 to 15, just the 84 runs. It's not less by any means, but still, considering how they started and how they finished, it could sound less. But that was the difference between India getting 200 and 219.
Yeah, the Sharma Varma show in the power play. Jeez, they were good, these two youngsters. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's the strength of Abhishek as well. His positive outlook, we were talking about it before the match started, that it's important that you get through that for that initial phase. Maybe Sanju getting out at the other end kind of just naturally brought out those instincts in Abhishek today. But you could see that he was making that conscious effort of being wise in his shot selection.
Yeah.
There were some shots through the offside. It was not just the onside attack, which often you see with him. He looks to take the bowlers on. He did play those shots. It's not that he was backing away from playing those shots. But if you look at the overall percentage, he was looking to access that offside as well, and I think which really worked for him.
We talk about the batting conditions first, right? I mean, you look at this 219, and you got 219 at T20 is really good. But this batting lineup of South Africa has the power and the prowess to actually overcome that in these kind of conditions, despite this really good batting effort from India.
Very much so. If you do look at history in that ground, 258 was chased down, and they're less by about 40 runs as we speak. So that's a long way off.
It's below par, you think?
Well, statistics would tell you that. But India is going with 3 spinners, and that's a double-edged sword. If they get going against the spinners, hitting boundaries could be easy. But at the same time, when you lose wickets, or when you're curtailed with your run scoring, then it does pose a problem. So it's very interesting to see how all three spinners react. We all know what a Ravi Bishnoi and a Varun can do. On the other hand, we know what an Axar is capable of. He's going to get his full quota. How much can he keep the South African batters at bay? Keshav Maharaj did really well today, used the angles well and his lengths. Axar has to do something very similar to that.
I mean, you look at that and you go, small ground, batting wicket. Abhishek comes for the first ball, hits him for a 6, Keshav Maharaj. But at the end of the day, there's something to be said about experience, about guile, about smarts. And Keshav Maharaj showed that today.
That's the battle which constantly is on, isn't it? It's a battle between bat and ball. And as a bowler, if you are with the game, if you are able to kind of pick these fine things and execute them, you just need one ball to get a batter out, and that's what happened today, isn't it? Keshav Maharaj bowled that one delivery which got rid of Abhishek. The partnership was already looking so threatening. So a breakthrough and a wicket suddenly gives you that opportunity to come back in the game.
I also just want to highlight because, we youngsters, the bubblegum generation get very excited by small things. It's no small thing when a debutant hits the first ball he faces in international cricket for a 6, as this Ramandeep today.
I was reminded of Suryakumar Yadav immediately. He hit a first ball for 6 as well in international cricket. And you can see the power that Ramandeep possesses. That's what he was picked for, purely his finishing skills. He did very well in the last IPL, did well in Emerging Trophy. He's done well in the Punjab Premier League that recently happened. He's shown that skill very, very strongly in the recent past. And that's purely why he's picked, to unleash that power towards the back end of the innings. And it was good to see him go through his gears today and show the world why he's picked in that Indian team.
Yeah, I mean, the emerging numbers that you talk about, like everybody remembers Ramandeep from just being the gun fielder in KKR's winning campaign in 2024, right? He was like the wall, and he was like a great wall of China, just wouldn't let anything go. But what maybe a lot of some people have missed is this, that he was very good in the Emerging Teams Asia Cup as well. So excited to see him with the ball, but his batting.
Look, at this stage, like where he is batting, in that batting order, and DK will explain it better because he's been playing that finisher's role. You got to judge a player based on the impact. You can't prepare for the situation because situation is going to be completely different every time you're going to walk in. Sometimes you just have 4 deliveries to face. Sometimes you have more deliveries to face. You've lost wickets, then you got to be adapting, and you got to have that flexibility in terms of your preparation. And that is something which brings a lot of challenges to people who are batting in this slot. And it's important that you identify those players. And Ramandeep has shown that he's got that ability to be able to understand that what is required at that stage and prepare that way. So it's a good opportunity for him playing at the highest level. He's shown that he's got the attitude, he's got the hunger, he's been putting in all the work. He's a brilliant fielder. He's one dimension which he's adding to his game, which is being lightning quick, being able to contribute just on his fielding as well. And if you are batting in that slot, you got to be able to put in all these other things up to claim that spot.
I just also quickly want to talk about, because Zach, you pointed it out when we were watching the innings, is that the lack of discipline from South Africa, the extras as well, just way too many.
Yeah, you have four no balls. I think 3 or 4 no balls, and you got to count the runs which are scored of those deliveries in modern day cricket.
3 no balls and 10 wides.
In modern day cricket, it's a non-negotiable. You can't. There is no cushion for that.
Because with the free hit, it becomes very expensive.
That's one thing which is in your control. You got to prepare yourself at least not to bowl a single no ball. See, wides at times you take because sometimes you just want to focus that wide Yorkers or wide line, the tram line bowlers usually approach to contain the batsman or to stay in his weak zone. That is understandable in that process if you're going for 1-2 wides. You can take that. But with no balls, I think you can't really, very, very thin threshold.
Of course, with with this gun batting lineup that South Africa has, and with the kind of form that he's shown, this is, we can call this Chucky 2.0, because he had his first run and then gone for a couple of years and comes back and he's in this golden touch. Very difficult for even good players of spin like Klaasen to read. He was he really had Klaasen all over the place. A lot relying on him as well, because with 220, you know that the middle order is going to come into play. And that's where Surya will be looking at Chakravarti as his trump card.
Yeah. In both the innings, he's got two of their marquee players out, David Miller and Klaasen. And these are the two players that South Africa rely on tremendously to get to big totals. So again, it's going to be Chakravarti against these two players. And if he's able to get the better of them for the third time in a row, then Team India will be within touching distance of victory.
What do you think, Zach? This 220, it's as a number itself, it looks like it should be in advantage India. But just keeping this ground and that kind of context in mind, this is not a walk in the park.
Well, for South Africa to win this game, like DK was mentioning earlier, it's about how you attack spin bowling. Because you know that India is going in with predominantly spin attack. So the fast bowlers, if you take them out early in the attack and then you bring in the spinners early in the game, that's how South Africa should approach. Because you want to expose few bowlers out of place. So, instead of Varun Chakravarti bowling 1 overs, can you force Surya to make him bowl 2 overs?
Yeah, which means that lesser at the middle order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, that's something which should be the approach.
Yeah, that would be a good way, right? I mean, he's not a threat to Klaasen and Miller if his overs are finished.
True. That is very true. And that's what South Africa would ideally like to do. But for that, they need to go after Arshdeep and Hardik, who have a great chance of bowling with the new ball. And you go after them, it has to be Axar or Varun Chakravarti who gives India the cushion of bowling in the power play. So India know their weaker of the two departments would definitely be their bowling. And have they scored a total which is scary for South Africa in these conditions? Definitely not. So on paper, it looks 219 always looks a very strong total, but definitely given the conditions on the ground, it's not what it looks.
Axar, of course, came to bat at number 5 in the previous game. Today, he came lower down the order, so only got 1 ball to play. Is he going to use that to tell the captain, saying, "Mera batting nahi aaya, so bowling dena padega"?
Look, I think he's a cricketer who's been utilised very interestingly in the recent past, was the standout performer in the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Hasn't played much at all since that. He was part of the test series. Halfway through, they said, maybe you're not playing, so it's better you go to South Africa. So here he is in South Africa. He's just bowled the 2 overs. But we know what an Akshar Patel is capable of. He's the captain of an IPL side. He's one of the most consistent left-arm spinners that have gone around in world cricket in this format. So he is very confident of his abilities. And he's a very happy-go-lucky character. He doesn't stress too much whether he's playing, he's not playing. Given how well he's performed as a batter and as a bowler, it's only a matter of time before, when given the opportunity, he comes out and shows what he is as good at, which is the ability to win a ball with the game.
He's a clever bowler, right? He's a bowler who you want to throw the ball to when things are going against you, right? He's done that a lot in the T20 World Cup. And today, with those small boundaries on the side, these are the kind of challenges that a guy like him uses his smarts and relishes.
See, spinners, if they bowl good lengths, it's at times hard to hit them square of the wicket, isn't it? If someone is looking to play sweep also, you can go fuller. And Axar is someone who is very smart with adjusting that.
Yeah.
He's not a big turner of the ball, but he's got that ability to be constantly at the batter. And that's something which he'll look to do. I think Surya will look to use his 1 over in the power play for sure. Because you want Varun's over in the middle. So that should be playing on Surya's mind. How he uses Ramandeep, or whether he uses Ramandeep or not, is something which we have to wait and see. But Axar for sure is going to be in the game. The 3 spinners is what Surya will be banking on.
Yeah, there's, it's a formidable batting lineup. We saw Gerald Coetzee came and basically won them the game at number 9 in the previous game, even though it was a low chase. But today, it's a good challenge for their batters, and their batters have been a little underwhelming in actually the last few months after the World Cup in T20 cricket. So today would be a good day for a lot of them to put their hand up and to check in.
Centurion is a great ground to find form because of the bounce it has, and you can use it to good effect, as I said before about using the shorter boundaries. But the one thing that the South African batters definitely need is some runs behind their belt. And they haven't gotten firing in the series or in the recent past. Yes, a lot of them have taken breaks, some have played other franchise tournaments, but here it is where they've come together as a South African team and they're playing their full team, barring a couple maybe. So they will be looking for some runs. And if South African middle order fires, we all know what they're capable of. The fact that they reached the final of the World Cup tells you It was purely on the merits of the middle order. And if that happens today, India will again have it very tough. Mind you, when you play 5 bowlers and you literally have a 6th option which is brand new, and in a tall scoring competition or a tall scoring game like this, there will be a couple of bowlers who will go for runs. As a skipper, you will always be tempted to give that one over to someone else, and that could be the over Ramandeep will get. So, he will have to be mentally prepared for that over.
Yeah, I mean, like we're saying, the game's far from over, but you're still seeing advantage India, right? At this time?
Yeah,
Not
has to be
resoundingly,
because,
but...
I mean, before the start of the game, if someone tells you that, you're going to score 220 in this match batting first, you'll take it. Because you know that you got the goods to defend, and 220 is a damn good score on any surface.
Yeah.
It's just about now going out there, executing your plans and absorbing that pressure if the batters are putting you under pressure. There might be a partnership because you see this South Africa batting lineup, yes, they've not been in form. They've struggled to chase down 124 in the previous game, and the first game also they lost with a really big margin. But every day is different. They have the batters who can take the game away from you, especially with power and 6-hitting ability. So looking at that, as Indian bowlers, you will be thinking that you got to stay in the game and just bank on the fact that their form has not been consistent.
Yeah.
But 2 batters staying and putting bowlers under pressure, anything can happen.
Yeah, 140 odd in the first game is what they got, 125 in the second game. So, yeah, India would be hoping to get a couple of wickets. You can just put a little bit of fear and just a little bit of nervousness into their middle order, and there's still a chance. Remember, if India wins today, then, well, you don't win the series, but then you can't lose it. What is this 4-match series? Why is it not an odd number? Why? Just so that they can divide the trophy in the end? It's 2-2. Oh, it came all this way, but yeah, it's tied. Yeah, but yeah, you can't lose whoever wins today basically can't lose the series. They've still not won it, but they won't lose the series. All right. Well, we're going to go now, but before that, I'm going to ask both DK and Zaheer their one pick. If you're looking into your crystal ball, you're thinking top performer South Africa, top performer India in this innings.
Top performer South Africa, Aiden Markram.
Aiden Markram. Good call. You?
I think Klaasen from South Africa and Varun Chakravarti from India.
Shaki?
For me, I'm going to go for Axar Patel.
Nice. I like it. You know the one name I'm not going to take?
Kotzia.
Yeah, because I've jinxed him. All right, our power play scores before we check out. We'll start with Zaheer.
58.
58.
63.
Took my number, man. Let me go higher. I want this to be a takkar wala game. I'm going to go 68. 68. DK's face is like, what? All right, that's all we have time for. We'll see you at the end of the 10th over. We're going to come back then with Cricbuzz Combox. So do join us then for a little update. 220 is what South Africa need to get a win. Can India stop them? We'll come back and talk about that in Cricbuzz Live right after this game. Thank you so much for watching.